those homegrown nutrients. That's what we learned about New Millennium.
That's what we learned about New Millennium. Yep, right. You're right there.
Now, here's a question I got for you guys. Is it only for experienced growers? It sounds like there's a lot of parts here, and you have said, you're going to get your best results if you're already done.
Sure. I would say it's not for beginning growers, I guess is what I'd say.
It's not for beginners.
Is it something that's very adaptable? Is it something great for an experienced grower? Of course. That being said, I can for sure, as long as I don't want to get crazy, I can give somebody a recipe, and if they'll follow it, they'll be very happy.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say it's the best of both worlds, and it's very user-friendly. There are 9 pieces, like you said, Mitch. You never use more than 4 at a time on that schedule for New Millennium. It is very user-friendly for brand new growers, and if you are an advanced grower and want to manipulate plants and really push it, your knowledge and your potential to the limits, it has that ability too. So again, I feel it's the best of both worlds.
Yep. And I mean, it feels very natural, even though there's multiple parts to it, because it's based on the seasons. It feels very natural when you're using it.
Explain what you mean by that it's based on the season.
Okay, so again, getting back, this is a cannabis-specific nutrient, make no bones about it. Again, born and bred here in the great state of Colorado by a wonderful chemical formulator named Neil Watson, that we've mentioned several times. So it's based on an annual plant. We know that cannabis is an annual plant. So thinking about that, breaking it down by the season, breaking it down to individualize their nutrient needs is basically what the thought process is behind it. So what I like to say is, okay, so you have the Equinox, that's your A. It really isn't A and B with additives. You just have multiple different Bs. Those are your seasons. Your Equinox is it's your calcium. It's your cal nitrate. It's 500. Always using in conjunction with another season. Spring, summer, autumn. You got early veg with spring, you got mature veg with summer, you have flower with autumn, and winter is a finisher. So it runs right with the seasons, and like I like to say, with the spring, it's kind of like, and forgive me for this analogy, I have a small child right now, so my head's wrapped around this a lot, but it spring's like the breast milk, and it's great, it's right out of the corner, it's what they need right at that moment. But if you get into summer, that's like meat and potato time. You can't just double it up and give a bunch of breast milk.
It's not just more baby food.
It's just not more baby food. So that kind of, in a nutshell, is breaking down the annual thought process behind it.
To sum up what he said, I agree completely. What they've done, or what Neil has done essentially, is custom tailored the nutrient program for each phase of plant growth. It's not just saying, hey, here's a, I'm not throwing AB under the table by any means, but here's an AB. Let's just up the dilution rate for the entire growth of the plant. Just like Jen said, if you have a little child, the little kid doesn't, baby food, is cool for a few months, and then all of a sudden they need real food. An adult doesn't just need more baby food; it needs a whole different diet to thrive on. And so does a flowering plant, in contrast to a plant out of a cloner, just like spring in comparison to autumn.
Yep.
Right.
And I guess, since we got all the way through it, I will just rip through the rest of the additives real quick, because we kind of touched on almost everything at this point, except for winter, which I want to get your opinion on, Adam. We talked about Ruby Fulvic, the multi-source Fulvic, Lightning Start, which is a kelp-based root and shoot initiator, Decision, which we talked about, PK Appetite, which is a bit of a bloom booster and natural chelate to help the autumn be uptaken more efficiently and effectively, and then the Winter Frost, which is that pre-flush, that senescence initiator, that phenotypic expressor.
So now how does that fit in? How does it cause that phenotypic expression by going through the senescence process? How does that happen in the plant even?
That's a great question, Mitch, and in contrast to the Decision, it works in a very similar method. It's literally different forms and ratios of PK that trick or manipulate the plant into doing what Neil wants. In this case, it is senescence, and not senescence in the form of creating seed like a lot of senescing in nature. Senescence in an indoor controlled environment, cultivating the right not only species but male or female portion of that. He tricks the plants into creating more oil, marginally more yield, a ton more oil is the whole thing.
Yeah, more oil, more color. Again, it's a pre-flush. Me personally, I run through 9 weeks. I like to give things a lot of time. I go food through week 7, winter and Ruby week 8, straight flush week 9. Giving it that flush time after the fact, after the senescence initiation, gives that time to push those oils. Literally, the plant thinks it's going to frost, so it puts out all that oil to protect itself. And then by that senescence process being initiated, that's where you get the coloring, right? That chlorophyll die-off. that expression of terpenes, essentially the end process, the dying process.
Do we still have Adam?
Yeah, and I think it's actually the most important part too. Is at the end. I mean, that's when you really want to. You don't want to lock them up or lock them out or anything like that, and it just
absolutely.
And also the fade too is really important, because I think a lot of times what I've noticed too is with the 315s, they don't fade as easily. That's like it's hard to get them to do that, and with certain food you see that it, like I tried the Bio-Nova, and it didn't even like lose any color. It stayed green until the very end, which was terrible. You know what I mean? So it didn't taste good.
Sure.
And I was pretty much done with it at that point, because it was like, well, it did really good in the veg. It looks really good going through, but if it doesn't fade, then you don't get the flavors out of it that you were looking for.
Right. Yep. And again, that winter frost helps initiate that process. The thing is, you have to be patient afterwards. It says it right in the literature. Let it flush for 7 to 10 days afterwards. So again, I like to pull up the gas a lot earlier than some people will to give it that. I mean, you got to be patient with letting things finish, letting them fade. It isn't a 2-day process. I know I'm talking to I don't have to tell you, but a lot of people get very impatient with this process. And the winter frost can be a very amazing product, but you must be patient with it.
Sure. And you guys use it once or twice at the end? How many times do you guys use it?
So, and I have experimented with that considerably. Will it give you good effect by using it once or twice, 3 times? Yes, but it's not going to be all that you want. I mean, it can be run up to a full week. So I literally at this point, and I started using it just a couple of times, and I did get that initiation process, but I didn't get quite as much coloring as I'd like to. So I backed off again, pulled the foot up off the gas, backed up off the food a little bit more, ended that completely at week 7, and then week 8, winter frost, all the way through week 8, and then a full flush afterwards. So let's say you want to take down at 8.5 weeks. My suggestion is, rather than running winter at a full 7 days, run it for 3 or 4 and still give it a full 7 days of flush afterwards.
Right. I mean, with any product, you need at least about a week to 7 days after.
Definitely.
Regardless, for sure.
Yep.
But I do think you guys nailed it on the color of that product, though. It's like, basically when you pour it out, you're like, yeah, that's some winter frost right there. It's like it looks like creamy white blue color. It's pretty amazing.
Yep, great product for sure.
Both the ruby and the winter are really cool in that aspect. They have no non-naturally occurring dyes in them, and again, the ruby is a nice ruby red, and just like I said, Adam, that winter is a nice ice blue.
Yeah, I mean, literally, like you feel like you feel the product as you're pouring it out. You're like, oh, yeah, that's some winter frost right there.
And it will, like I said, it will oil your plants out really, really nicely. And unlike some other products that are on the market that will homogenize, varied genetics, if you've got a room with a bunch of different genetics, there are for sure products out there that will homogenize a bit.
Definitely.
And I'm not here 100%. And I'm not here to point any fingers, but
we're here to point fingers. Go ahead.
They're out there. Now, what I would say is the beautiful part about New Millennium in general, but specifically Winter Frost, is that it really helps express the phenotype of that cut. If it's supposed to smell like that, it's going to smell extra like that. If it's supposed to look like that, it's going to look extra like that. So it keeps a varied garden, especially for the home gardener. I mean, you want to have some different flavors. Whether you're commercial or home gardening, that's an important aspect.
So do you guys?
Well, yeah, we know. We all know so many times there's a certain flavor that people have in their weed, like somebody's. But a lot of times when it comes to when you find out that they're growing with housing gardens or whatever, and it's like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because it all tastes the same,
Right.
Which has been a big kind of a big thing in the industry where everybody seems to be like pointing fingers at other people that their product does it, but then when you use it in their product, it's the same thing.
Totally.
I have noticed with New Millennium that it is very soft on the sense of like not overpowering the direction of the plant.
Sure.
With the flavors in the end.
So do you find that it's kind of whatever strain it is, regardless of sort of it's the type of phenotypical expression it's leaning to, you don't have to tailor the program too much, like you follow the schedule, or is there a lot of variation for heavy feeders and light feeders? Because it sounds like, the whole system is based on manipulating things a little extra, like all through the feeding mechanisms, right? So does that come into play with, or is it, they all feed the same?
No, it's a great question, and the stock schedule that's put out is pretty on point. In most scenarios, whether it's a peat-based media, whether it's a cocoa-based media, an actual soil-based media, that schedule is very on point. Now, of course, just like any other schedule, any other feeding program, when you hit nutrients or different substrates like rock wool or deep water culture or pebbles, things like this with different CEC ratings, things change, and you as a grower have to know the different substrates you're using and dial your nutrient program in adequately. So yes, it is a very, very dialed in stock program, but as again with any other program, you need to adjust accordingly.
Which, again, is even one of the reasons why we're a little bit careful about how we advertise specifically like Decision and Winter Frost and how to use those, because we know there are some varieties out there. It's rare, but there are varieties out there that are more sensitive than others. So, we're obviously trying to shoot that ball right down the middle and not be too extreme on either end. Can it be tailored? Can that recipe be ticked up for heavy feeders, etc.? Will it be slightly hot for rarely some of the plants out there, specifically maybe even some long-term sativa, something like that? Yeah. But again, it is very adaptable. It is tailorable. But the recipe that's out there is solid, no doubt.
Mr. Adam,
Nice. What?
do you find, man, in your experience when you're using it in your garden, do you find you have to tailor it at all, or you pretty much just the same for everybody?
It's interesting too, because it's like since my mom's on the pro. The whole reason that I like Millenium for my situation is that my mom feels that she has to fucking feed these plants all the time. She's like a mom, like feed. They must eat. The plants must eat. And so
you want a sandwich?
She's and she's slightly impatient when it comes to stuff like that. So it's like I noticed that she's very comfortable with Millenium, which is great. You know what I mean? Like, we went through so many different other programs, and part of it I think is the fact that it's like there's a lot of components, but like you said, you only use it 4 at any given time, and it's really ingrained in her head now. So she's got that, like, okay, just hit him with some Ruby. She knows, like, she's got that formula going down, and that's important. I think for a lot of people, because a lot of people are lost without it. You know what I mean? Like, they can't just feel it. But I think what you notice with the Millennium, from my mom's point, is that you start to feel it after a while. You're like, okay, they need the Ruby, hit them with the Ruby. Oh, they need the Decision, hit them with the Decision. And it's nice when you can kind of guide the plant like that.
Mm-hmm. No, well put. I mean, it's like I said, it feels natural the way the seasons, the way you're bringing it through the grow process. Vegging, blooming, everything. It feels right, and you can see the efficacy of the products, so you can get to a point where you are very comfortable with tweaking things, pretty quickly, really. Because you can see what's going on, you can feel it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And so how is it going nationwide with this stuff? Are you guys in other states now?
Yeah, so we are. That's a great question. Yeah, no, we're definitely in other states. We've got some stuff in Cali. We've got some stuff out on the East Coast. We actually sell quite a bit out on the East Coast. Got some stuff into Michigan. We've got some stuff down into Florida. So we're definitely getting around. I mean, it's been, I kind of call it a little bit of a slow burn, If you look at that really nice...
You guys have to get approved. You have to get all those products approved in each state.
Yes, of course. That's part of the deal. We're up in Portland too, Portland and Washington. It's definitely a big process getting it into all 50 states, no doubt about it. So that took time. We had to get a really good base here. We had to get people like yourself and other trusted people in the industry using it and liking it. And it's definitely starting to take off in a big way. We're in the bottom part of that meaty curve when we're doing one of these, and we're right about here right now, and it's getting quite good. Yeah.
Now, is there any chance that you're going to have any problems in the future if the Millennium just takes off like crazy?
Well, obviously, always a great question, a valid question. I would say that no.
Materials.
Right, of course, sourcing materials. Sourcing materials.
Like source materials running out or anything like that, though? Like that's one of the things I've noticed with some.
Sure.
They get real successful, and then all of a sudden they can't source the materials anymore. Then they're like,
Well,
oh,
and
it's too expensive to get.
Right, or not in that quantity or whatever else. I mean, I would say absolutely valid question. I would say that Neil's been in this business for a very long time. He expected this to happen. He's seen other very large companies and their progression and what has happened and their pitfalls, and is prepared to deal with that and avoid that. So from a sourcing and from a production standpoint, I believe, and I know, in fact, that Neil has put himself in a very good position.
And so is all the production here in Colorado?
Yes, sir.
So it's all in-house, and there's no, like, farming on anything or anything?
No, nope, all right here.
Well, that's a good thing, because that's one of the things is, like, supply chain is huge, and that's, when you start, especially like the soils and stuff, you notice it every time. Like, soil company comes out, they have really good soil, everybody loves it, and then it slowly gets worse and worse, you know what I mean? Because they're outsourcing for compost from
Sure.
Unethical sources.
Well, right, or they started composting for a year before, and that was part of the deal, but then shit blew up so hard that now it's like 5 or 6 months.
Yeah,
and it makes a difference, turns out.
Huge. A huge difference.
So,
and you can't create time out of nothing.
No. You can't create place, and you cannot create time. Again, I would say that what we rely on is Neil's experience, his long-term experience in this business, and his knowledge of large-scale nutrient production, and his scaling is proper right now, and we are ready and willing and fully expecting things to completely blow up.
Right. So, I mean, I know you guys said you mentioned it, but tell us a little bit more about Neil and what he did before, like what are the products he put out there that people are familiar with.
Yeah, can you talk about you're not allowed to mention them.
I'm not going to get too specific, Adam, on the main company that he worked for. The term we say is he worked for one of the larger companies that put out a well-known 3-part.
Fill in the blanks, folks.
Yeah.
Fill in the blanks.
That's about all you have to say on this show. That's about all you have to say on this show.
But again, as far as Neil goes, very well known, very well respected, has done subcontract work for, I'm sure, a handful of different companies and different industries across the country over the years. One of the more intelligent people I've ever met in my life, that's for sure. His knowledge of the industry, just like Jaron said, over the course of the last 25 years or more at this point. He's seen every up, seen every down, and seen every in, seen every out. He's as far as nutrients go.
Colorado, or is he a Colorado native?
No, not a native. Does reside here primarily now, though.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah,
okay. Well, that's about as much as we get about him.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's a mysterious man.
He's a mystery man.
He's a mystery man. But hey, anybody can come see us. He definitely comes to a bit of the shows. Also, for any of those people out there, flip over that bottle that you have and take a look at that phone number on it. It's a 970 number. That is Neil Watson's cell phone number.
So every bottle of Millenium has Neil's cell phone number.
That is correct. So
wow!
Did I just blow a couple minds or what? Huh? So you guys really want to know? Give Neil a call. Honest to God, he loves talking to people. He loves talking about the comparison of some of the old products that he has worked with, and we'll let him mention them. Like Cole said, we're going to stay diplomatic on this one.
Sure.
But give him a call, man. It's on the back of every bottle.
Nice. What's a good reason to buy a bottle right there? Just call the man himself.
Just call the man himself.
I got your number.
That's right.
Yeah, and if you guys do any shows, obviously not out here, because I would have seen you if you're in Vegas, but you guys planning on doing some promotional shows?
Yeah, we will. I mean, for us and our supply chain, Vegas, albeit a very good show, and especially for large-scale stuff, with our supply chain stuff, it's not, the best thing for us. Again, great show. We will be at Max Yield, both in Detroit and San Jose this year. We'll also be at the Indo Expo in January here in Denver, and then, August in Portland? Anybody help me out? Yes?
Yeah, pretty sure that's correct. Yeah.
All right, somewhere in there. Yeah. So those will be the 4 main shows. We may hit a couple other small things. You'll see us roaming around at different events as well, but those will probably be the 4 main ones we set up at.
Nice.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I wish we were in Vegas, Adam. Rub it in a little more.
I know.
Golly.
Oh man, I just had to party all night in my suite. Oh, damn, I'm so rough out here on the
Yeah,
road.
the whole high life and bacon breakfast. Oh, I'm so jealous.
right.
No, it's good, but we'll be out there, definitely talking to the people and putting the advertising out. Obviously, getting on stuff like this and trying to put some good product in the people's hands. A good independently owned company with a really bright formulator behind it. So we're excited to be working with them, no doubt.
Can we get him on the show in the future? I guess we could call him right now if we just had the
Yeah,
We're
who has
definitely
a?
trying.
I was going to say.
Jerry and I are trying on, real hard on that.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I would love to say. I would say, Adam, grind Bo about that, and we'll see what happens.
I will. 100%.
Because I would love to get Neil on the show. Honestly,
I think that
would.
sounds like a really interesting show, right? Everyone?
Yeah,
agree?
for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
We like to get those brainiacs on there,
Yep. And Neil does hang out at the shows. So if you come around and you ask, "Hey, is Neil around?" He just might be there.
Cool.
So when do you head back, Adam?
I'm back tomorrow.
Nice.
Oh, wait. Yeah, tomorrow.
What day is
I
it?
forgot what day it was.
I
What day is it today? Yeah.
knew it.
So when do you come? Yes, I'm here.
Come on, man. Hold the show together. Come on.
I'm holding it, buddy.
I'm doing it from my bed now.
I can tell. That's the amount of focus that you have right now.
We appreciate you manning up and getting her done.
So I don't know, Adam. You've been using this stuff for a really long time. Obviously, very satisfied with the results. Has it gotten better over time or stayed the same?
Well, I mean, yeah, there's been improvements and tweaks, and the other thing that I liked about it was the fact that in the actual formula is products that I already used, which is like Budswell is part of their formula, and I was, I've been using Budswell for years. I literally would smuggle it back to Amsterdam with me. Back in the day, I'd carry bottles of Budswell, which is ridiculous when you think about it, because it's like, what are you going to do with 2 bottles of Budswell comparatively?
Right.
But it was like. But I treated it like it was the most precious thing back then, and so the fact that they still use that, which I feel is a real sort of very simple product, but it's a great product, and
Sure.
And then they're using Playground's. Tell us about that. The Playground.
The Green Sensation.
Yeah, talk about that.
Okay.
It
is. Yeah, it is a crazy product. So it is, just to be very clear, it is from a different nutrient company. It is another one that 5-8 does distribute. So it happens to be a very nice companion product. We do have a couple different recipes that are out there that include both items out of New Millennium and Playground, but the recipe that you were referring to is what we call our secret sauce recipe.
Right.
And so Playground, it's a Dutch company. It's out of Holland, been around 24 years. It's a nutrient and substrate company. Been around a long time. I mean, shoot, even when you were over there, they were cranking, no doubt. And large competitor with Canna worldwide. Not that well known here, but their number one worldwide product is the Green Sensation that you're asking about. What it is, if we're comparing it to Canna, would be the Cannazyme, the Boost, and the PK1314 in one bottle. However, they did not create the product to mimic those three and put it into one bottle. It's just because Canna is so well known, it's a very good comparison for us.
Sure.
In reality, it's a very special 3-part product, really. It is your PK. It's 089. It's an iron supplement, which is iron is an essential part of chlorophyll. Keeps plants really nice and green, praying towards the lights, just super vigorous and healthy. And then a special metabolic enhancer that is in the form of an enzyme that actually reduces the activation energy that a plant needs to create its own hormones. So unlike some of these other PGRs that are out there and things like that, rather than dumping synthetic hormones on it to get the plant to do what you want it to do, it's a metabolic enhancer in the way that it reduces the energy needed that a plant can do it itself. So amazing product, very concentrated, tops out at 4 mils a gallon. You'll get about 0.4, 0.5 EC worth of charge out of that. So the shit's got some oomph.
How big's the bottle? I imagine the bottle lasts you a long time if it's that concentrated.
The bottle will last you a good long while. It comes anything from a 250 ml to a 20 liter. It depends how big the grower is. But we call it green gold. It's literally green. It's a nice, thick green, clean.
You guys are good at matching
color.
the actual color of things to the name, I've noticed.
Thanks,
That's one thing I've picked up.
For the record, Cole and I are not involved with naming.
Are you involved with color selection?
But I appreciate you noticing that. We're super innovative there. But that is their most well-known product worldwide. They also have a world-class cocoa. They've got a Terra, cocoa, and hydro specific lines. Dutch style, ABs, that kind of thing. So,
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So what else do you guys distribute?
Um,
You got anything else in the
Yeah.
arsenal? Go ahead, Cole.
So we distribute 3 main brands. We have Papillon Lighting out of Holland as well. We do, just as Jaron said, Playground Nutrients out of Holland. And then we do New Millenium Nutrients out of Colorado here.
We'll talk about Papillon for sure. That when double-ended started coming around, those were sort of the more most people switched to Papillons, at least up front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Papillon is a long-standing company back in Holland, very well known, very well respected. In all honesty, a subsidiary company of actual Philips Lighting. So as you can imagine, the same Philips that makes lighting for your home, lighting for your vehicles, very, very high-end lighting. So just as you said, as far as actual horticulture goes, same thing. One of the most well-known, well-respected brands over there. They were the creator of the open-end reflector for DE lighting, and that is just one of their claims to fame. Their motto is perfection in reflection. It's as far as DE lighting goes, a lot of the drivers are very similar at this point. A lot of the technology is very similar. Even some of the cheaper stuff is not as good, but fairly good for the price at this time. So it really comes down to the reflector design on the double-end 1,000-watt from Papillon. There's over 2 years of research in actual Philips Light Science laboratories just in the reflector alone, not including anything else as far as technology goes, just in the reflector design alone. There's over 150 different mathematical angles or bends in the reflector. Again, it's all light science, natural heat dissipation, more points of actual reflection on the light, and more square footage covered. And it's all about flowering sites, just like over there in Europe and Holland, and that's what it's about.
How big is the footprint on them?
It's a 5x6.
That's a huge footprint.
Yeah, it's a true 5x6. It's their motto again in that reflector design is the cross sliding effect. So it's lessen the peaks and valleys, make it a more linear plane across the canopy and flowering sites, and that's what it's about.
Adam, you were using Papillons for a while, right?
No.
No, you never. You just got other people using them.
I sold a bunch of them.
Yeah, no, I remember that. I remember that happening.
But no, I never got a chance to get any pets.
Got right into the CMHs.
Well, they're definitely between because a lot of people, everybody thinks of Gavita, but the reality is EPAP was there before them, but also before them was the programs of PLs, and so the Dutch style is not new. That's what's so funny. It's these new lights.
Not at all.
The exact design that they've been doing for 20+ years.
Right.
So,
and you don't support Monsanto when you buy.
And it's just us getting over our idea of gigantic.
Oh, I said it. All right. Yeah, you're listening. He knows that we won't ever buy Gavitas.
It's funny because actually last time I was on the show or sitting in the show, I was sitting here with Jair. But anyhow, and again, I don't have to tell you, what they are in Europe and where they've been around. And truth be told, Lights Interaction is who manufactures PL and Papillon, right? That is, and that is a subsidiary of Philips, started in 2003. You can actually look this up, folks. It is documented, unlike the other very well-known double-ender in this market, which, to their credit, they did a good job bringing incredibly well-known technology from Europe over into a market that nobody knew about it. Called it new. Sure as shit wasn't new. Called it new.
New to this market, right?
New to this market. And like I say, I drank the Kool-Aid too, okay? They were not the partner of Philips. Papillon Lights Interaction was. You can look it up. They're under the parent company of Hortilux Schrader. That's Schrader. Again, you can look that up.
Did you say it like that because there's another one that's closely
It's
named
like
that's
AE
fake?
or something. I don't know. People always mess it up. Plus, everybody thinks Hortilux, not the same company. That's a Japanese company.
Oh, that's wait. I never even realized that. Someone mentioned it once, but I didn't realize. So Hortilux is not the same company as Hortilux?
Negative. Hortilux Schrader is a European company that's the first people to hang a light in a glass house, 1962.
Uh-huh.
So, spitting a little history here.
That's what we like. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was, and we've talked about that story after one show. That was the guy, that was the Dutch, in Holland, right? You're talking about the
Yep.
Dutch guy who was growing orchids or something like that?
Yeah, it was either orchids or tulips. I mean, it was definitely a cut flower. And, the story that I've always gotten is with at least tulips specifically, you get 2 runs a year, but about 50% of the time that second run, due to light period, due to photo period, the bulbs just drop, the heads drop. And it's like overnight. And they had this one row that just kept sticking on. They're like, what the hell is this? Why the fuck does this thing kept sticking on here? And they looked out, and it was the row that was on the street. So homeboy went and took down a street light and hung it up in his greenhouse, and ta-da! Guess what? Those other heads didn't drop. So they figured out it was a photo period thing. Yeah. So that's really, artificial lighting was more of a, from what I understand at least, more of a photo period thing than any kind of, actually light delivery mechanism, at least initially. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, that's where it makes the most sense, because you're never going to get more light than the sun out of artificial lights, but
Right.
you can make up for the time when the sun's down, at least by not
Correct.
having it completely dark.
Yep, absolutely. So obviously we're already kind of bastardizing this whole thing anyway, just by putting them in and expecting it to perform like the sun. But anyhow, as I digress.
That's what we're all about. That's how we make this a 2-hour show. If we
Right.
just stay on point, we're done.
We're
15
screwed.
minutes
We're
here.
totally screwed if we stay on point. So yeah, that's really the history of Papillon and where they come from and where, what they are, who they are. And, I will be the first to admit that I think they were a little slow to the game. And I think Cole would agree with that as well. I mean, their initial marketing wasn't really geared towards the hydroponic market. It was a very commercial-heavy marketing program. So at this point, on papillonholland.com, it's a much better, more fluid site. It's better for an end user. It makes a lot more sense, and they're catching on. And mark my words, after the beginning of the year, there will be some things out that will make a lot of stuff out there look like child's play.
Like, what do you mean, new lighting?
I mean, like some cool stuff.
What, you're talking about lighting, though?
Yes, I am talking about lighting.
That's cool.
Yep. Can't go much further than that. And in a lot of ways, I don't even know a whole lot. I've just seen some nice pictures and heard some wonderful rumors. So stay tuned.
Well, I feel like the whole lighting world has evolved so much in the last couple of years too. It's just like we were stuck in a rut there for a while. I mean, we're just sitting there using the same bulbs for 20 plus years.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden there's a huge selection of bulbs and a huge selection of different color ranges and
Sure.
and it's getting to the point where people actually can now, it actually helps you. That's one of the other things that you need, to be able to manipulate this plant properly is the lighting. I mean, it's really, and you see how much difference it makes. It's like
Definitely.
the same with food. Like the food and the lighting makes such a big difference that if you, really do a side by side and have actually controlled situation, you will see a very different phenotypic, especially from both of those things.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think CMH is a wonderful example of that, something that's come on really hard and fast in the market recently, something that's been there forever. But, man, it grows really nice plants. And also, just to be clear, Papillon does have more than just the double-ended 1,000. We do actually have our own 315 ceramic metal halide.
Oh, see?
Ooh,
Did we know?
nice
Did you
segue.
even know about that, Adam? I didn't.
I haven't seen this.
You haven't seen it? All right. We'll have to... Yeah, we'll have to get one in front of you. They are 120, 240 now. Forever they were 240 only, which made things a little more difficult, honestly, especially serving into the hobby market. But in total right now, the Papillon stable, if you'll call it, would be the 1,000-watt double-ended HPS, 600-watt single-ended HPS, a 630-watt dual CMH, and then the 315 watt CMH.
630 dual CMH seems like the way to go, right? Like
It's a heck of a way to go. I mean, it does really, really well. I've had many people pull out 750s and thousands and put in 630s, and then they love life.
it just seems.
Yeah, I mean, it's so as long as you have enough. I mean, the whole thing about 600 watt compared to 1,000 watts, they're definitely more efficient, and you can get some. I think in the end of the day, you get better quality just because of the fact that you're not getting like one big giant donkey dig and then a bunch of little bulbs around it. You're getting like real even canopy because you're more points of light.
Yep, it's more like the sun.
Common sense stuff, but I think a lot of people. When I moved back to America, I was all excited about going back to 1,000 watts because I've been stuck with 600 watts the whole time I was there, and it's but you see that there's so much waste going on too. Too much heat and too much. There's a lot of issues that go along with trying to overkill it every time. And sometimes when you come from the bottom to the top, like using smaller lights, not trying to over saturate the plant at that time, then you get more. Especially with turf profiles and stuff. Now that we're all turf orientated,
Sure.
I think everybody understands you don't want to go above 85 degrees ever, and that's huge when it comes to. When you have 1,000 watt burning and you're trying to, and your HVAC is running constantly, then you're at risk of, one issue, like one power issue, and you're done. So, or mechanical problems compared to other problems, which are, that's something that can be totally alleviated.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a great point, Adam. Even to prove it more, especially in Denver here in the 3 months of summer, that June, July, August right now with 1,000 watt DEs in residential homes, which has been kind of a common thing here the last few years, obviously. It's essentially, 2 of those 1,000 watt DEs takes 1 ton of AC or 12,000 BTU. My equivalent to that is you could run 4 of those 630 LECs on 1 ton of AC or 12,000 BTUs. Just like you're saying, the spectrum enhancement, everything else, just makes more sense for residential areas.
Sure. I mean, very few houses have the right space to even hang an EPAP or a computer or any double intervals, unless you have a really high ceiling garage or something like that. But in the actual house itself, it's probably not even.
Couldn't agree with you more.
One room.
Yep, shouldn't have done it.
But I've seen plenty of people do it.
Oh, yeah, we've also seen tons of people do it. Yeah, this got slammed in the hobby market. It's a commercial unit. There's no doubt about it. I would say the same thing about, Papillon. That's a commercial unit. Now, the one thing that I will say, even in a commercial setting, by doing that 30 square feet and more like 700 to 800 micromoles per second, as opposed to what we all were kind of led to believe was the standard of 1,000 micromoles per second, you're already not chasing your tail as hard on the HVAC. You don't have the upfront costs. You don't have the operational costs. And, at the end of the day, you're getting the same kind of production because you're getting less waste, And let's be real here. There's no way that 1,000 micromoles per second is the number. Nature don't work like that.
Right, nature's not just like, 1,000 exactly.
It's 1,000. It must be 1,000. Because guess what? I could also call it 100 moles per second. But that doesn't sound as cool, does it?
Right.
So, a mole is just a unit of measurement that they, decide to pull out. And it's accurate because we're talking about photons. But the reality is that was catchy. Good job, guys. Again. But the reality is that's overkill. That's complete overkill. And nature doesn't do rounded numbers. So.
Sure, good point. Good point.
So, do you want to tell us about?
There's some new stuff coming out there. Keep our eyes out for.
Yeah, is there new stuff coming out on?
There's definitely going to be some really high-end new gear coming out on the controller side of things. Definitely expect some new technologies and new thought processes that no one else has developed yet or put forth yet for the.
You're talking in terms of Papillon, in terms of lighting, or
absolutely yes.
Okay.
And again, just a new version of the standard 1,000 watt DE, a couple new versions of other lights as well. But definitely some new products, some new technologies that are going to be very, very kick-ass.
And here's one thing that everybody can go home with. We've got everybody laughed at that Papillon open reflector initially. All the people that drank the Kool-Aid, again, just like me. And we all laughed at that open reflector. But all of a sudden, everybody started coming out with all these open reflectors. What's that about? I can tell you, Papillon's not coming out with a closed reflector. That's not the best way to do it. In fact, if you want the closer factor, buy a PL. It's by the same manufacturer, and it was developed for a different plant. All those closed hoods are developed for indeterminate cucumbers and tomatoes in glass houses. That's really what they're developed for, growing vines. The Papillon reflector, all that research and development, that's for cut flowers. That's why it was developed in Holland. It was for cut flower production, and cut flowers is all about flowering sites. No flowering sites, no flowers, guess what? No money. Well, what's Canvas all about? Flowering sites. So
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense.
Versus vines, which is everything we don't want, right?
Everything we don't want. All that, yep, exactly. All that stem, all that veggie, all that, yep, absolutely. And in fact, if anybody's looking at empirical data and can pick things up, as far as I'm concerned, with the reading that I do these days, has nothing to do with the increase of tomato harvest or increase in basil production. I'm looking for cut flower data, if at all possible. I'm looking in the percentage of additional flowering sites, percentage of additional bulbs, flowers, etc., and additional weight. And that, I think, is your best tie to cannabis right now as far as data goes. Because cannabis data is hard to find.
A lot of people went from the tomato world, is what everybody seems to think. Like everyone compared to tomatoes.
Right. And that's not right.
It's not the best thing to compare it to.
No. All right, just finished up this little birthday cake here, guys.
All right, we're going to smoke a joint of birthday cake. Adam, you got anything else from Vegas, buddy? That's it? Nothing? Just there's some parties? That's it?
It's basically just like it was last time, suits and shirts. Suits and T-shirts is what it is. And what's happening now, what I noticed is there's less suits and more T-shirts this time.
That's what I needed to know. So it's shifting. It's more less suits, more T-shirts. Is it the same people? They're just wearing T-shirts instead of suits, or it's more T-shirt people?
I think a lot of guys tried to impress themselves by wearing suits last time, and now they decided, like, fuck it, I don't need a suit. I'm doing this shit. Like, the people who are doing it don't need to wear the suit to go impress the next guys. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I've noticed. So yeah, more T-shirts, less suits. That would be my overall evaluation.
That's a good trend, I'd say.
It just means that people are doing it for real now. They're not just like trying to come in here and like posture for it. You know what I mean? Which is kind of what it was. It's a lot. That's what it has been for the most time.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So you actually think that this year it's a lot less posturing and more real business?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, that's super positive, because I've definitely spent some years there, and it was a lot of, like you said, everybody just, grabbing their Sunday best, trying to act like there's something that they weren't, posturing, acting like their bank accounts are, just endless, but nothing really came of it after the fact. You know what I mean? It was all just kind of like, meh, meh, meh. So.
Exactly. It's like we were sitting around the other night talking about this, and basically every one of us agreed that when we get home from these trade shows, we just take all the cards that we got and we throw them into a bag, and we put the bag in a closet somewhere, and then it never gets taken out again. Just never to be taken out. Or maybe if you're smart, you pour it out on the ground when you get home and pull out the 2 cards that were worth calling, because that's the problem. You literally are like talking, and then you get one really, really important person, and then you can't remember who it was. You're like, that one guy. Where's his card?
Where is his card?
But there was definitely more action going on. I felt like, and I felt like you could see where, some of the people that you are amazed are still here, and then there's some other guys that like there were some extraction machines there that were literally like 30 foot long, like a whole container. Just like, wow, these guys are going big there. People are definitely stepping the game up. And what was also interesting to see is that I think the hemp is about to finally kick in, because it seems like everybody's figured out that there's not enough room in the cannabis world for everybody to be the success that they want to be.
Totally.
But there's too much room in the hemp world as far as it just needs big money. You can't come in under $50 million or something like that to be able to do it properly. And that's
right.
But that's the next step. So now everybody's they're growing up and they're figuring out that the hemp is the big picture.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that. I mean, that is conservatively, $1 billion industry in this country. All of it basically imported at this point, either from our brethren to the north or from the guys out east.
We already bring in about $600 million worth from China and easily the rest on all the every single seed product is coming from Canada. So, for sure.
No, I believe, power to hemp for sure. I mean, I love cannabis. Don't get me wrong. I love good flowers, but the hemp world is a very interesting and very powerful world, and something we need to get back to, no doubt. Obviously,
And
preaching to the choir, but
I did get to meet a partner too. We have a company here called Silver Star Hemp in Nevada. So Nick
Excellent.
Canna is part owners of this thing, and we have an 11-acre. I'm actually going to go tomorrow and in the morning and check out this 11-acre hemp field, which is not there anymore. Of course, it's been
Right.
harvested, but
right.
we did 11 acres this year, and I guess we're going to do 50 next year. So
Excellent.
excited about that.
Well, congratulations, and I guess that means you can't sleep until 2 tomorrow, huh?
No, that's for sure. Today was my sleeping day.
Nice. Well, that's great. That's great information on the show, and I'm glad we have a trusted source that I can pick their brain a little bit.
Sure, of course.
So how are you guys thinking of responding to sort of the larger scale in the hemp market and things like that? Obviously, you want it as simple as possible, especially when you're going on that big scale. Is that something that you're internally kind of working on, or not specifically?
As far as the big scale goes, we believe that there is a massive market for the big scale that's going to continue to expand. Do we really believe that is our specific market? Not necessarily. We'd be in Vegas if we really thought it was.
Fair enough, yeah.
It's, we run through our retail partners. That's who we believe, has the longest legs in the industry. As things get bigger and bigger and people go more and more to these large-scale shows, commercial operators are not going to be buying from a retailer. That's just all there is to it.
Of course.
Now, we have to be careful about stepping on toes and taking care of the people that helped us get where we're at, and also understanding where we fit into the market. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Cole.
No, I mean, that was pretty on point. As far as the uppers and their direction and the hemp industry and everything else, Jaron and I really haven't heard much about that. There are definitely some people cultivating hemp that are using products that we distribute. That's not a question. Now, as far as our direction, our market sense, where we're headed, what our game plans is, that's not really Jaron and I's field. This cannabis industry, and just like I said, our retail partners is really where we're focused.
I think we're starting to see sort of that bifurcation that maybe the industry needs. Maybe some of these sort of like really big money, big scale operators that are looking for something that's more of the hemp scale, more of the global CBD scale than the sort of Colorado cannabis market. We'll start moving there, and we'll see the rise of that small to mid-level Colorado flower producer that can really service a much more limited market than the CBD market.
Yep. No, I mean, obviously, we've all seen a lot of changes. Some of them, I'm more comfortable with than others. But I believe that with everything that's going on in this business, that there's a lot of opportunity left for all of us, and we'll just have to ride it out for a little bit and see what happens. That's for sure. I mean, it's for real. It's here. It's now. There's no doubt about it at this point. I heard an interesting statistic the other day that said that if California was its own country, it would be the 6th largest economy in the world.
Wow.
Whoa.
And they're supposedly the largest cannabis consumers in the world. So,
Correct.
Yeah, put those two things together, and that's...
Well, and they don't have, think about the rents and things like that. Kind of same thing with the East Coast. There's not just a bunch of open space. Not everybody's got a basement that they can blow up.
Just waking up.
You
Hold
know.
on one second.
No problem.
Hold on.
Oh, everyone's just waking up in Vegas. So the meetings are about to start.
Come on in.
It's 3:30, time for breakfast, and then we got some meetings. We got to get to our booth, I guess. Yeah.
It's good to be in charge.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I think I gotta run, guys.
You got to do it. Go. I know it's breakfast time over there.
Show. I gotta actually do the show.
Okay, go do it. Go, kind of business show.
Adam, Jaron, and I appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adam. We appreciate it. We look
Thanks,
forward to
guys,
seeing you
coming
back
through,
here.
100%.
Yep. We'll see you sometime soon.
I will see you very soon.
All right,
See you
buddy.
soon, bud.
Later, man. Thank you.
All right, peace.
Right on. Well, we'll use that to segue right to our shout-outs. Perfect. And then we can wrap. Let's start with Way to Grow, our favorite source for probably a lot of the guys. A lot of things you guys are talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yep, and they got a lot of stuff there.
They have a lot of stuff.
They sure do. On sale right now, the PL Lights NXT 2 double-ended, 1,000 watt, 120 and 240 volt. usually $649.99. Right now, you can get it for $415. And, of course, the microbe sale is still on till November 23rd. That's 30% off. Great White, Recharge, Orca, Azos, and Mycos, and Organism XL. And that's going until November 23rd of this month. And the PL Lights NXT2, that's going to be until while supplies last. You can go and find a store near you. They're throughout Colorado. You can check them out online at waytogrow.net. Email them at info@waytogrow.com. And, be in touch. Check them out. They're our favorite. Mention Adam Dunn Show when you go down there for sure. He'll give you the hookup. They'll at least pull out the hidden candy bowl. If they don't pull out the hidden candy bowl, tell them you know about the hidden candy bowl and you want to speak to a manager. That's what you got to do when you go down there.
Yeah.
It's the best way to grow. And, of course, big shout out. Our big shout out to our buddies at Incredibles Edibles. iloveincredibles.com. Our favorite source for not candy.
No.
Infused chocolate. That's what it is. Infused. Can I call them what can I call them confections?
Delicacies.
I was going to call them delicacies,
Treats?
but that could be savory too. These are sweet confections. Do you want a pumpkin pie delight bar, KTI? Maybe we should get some for next week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
want pumpkin pie.
right? You know, like no.
Let's get some.
My
Let's get some
goodness.
pumpkin pie bars for next week. We'll make Adam work on that.
Yeah.
Pumpkin pie delight. 'Tis the season. You can get them at stores all over Colorado. Go ahead to iloveincredibles.com. See the big USA map on top that says "Find a Store." Click that. Allow it to know your location. The closest one to us right now is going to be Universal Herbs downtown, 800 Park Ave, Denver. So if you wanted to go get a pumpkin spice bar right this second, that's where we'd run off to. You guys can do it too. Go check it out at iloveincredibles.com. And, of course, big shout out to Build a Soil, our favorite source for organic, recycled, amended soil, and anything to do with sort of that method of growing and that lifestyle. Jeremy's got everything from the worm farms you need to the compost tumblers to the EM1 to your Grokashi. Of course, soil. You want exotic soil amendments? Like, what are you looking for? You like parboiled rice hulls? Yeah, Jeremy's got parboiled rice hulls.
No problem.
You need coconut water, powdered form to spray on your plants. Jeremy's got that. Sure. Aloe vera, agricultural grade. Sure. Whatever you're looking for. Find out more at buildasoil.com. Of course, big shout out to Grow Stones. Do it, guys. Cheers with the bottles.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Grow Stones made from recycled glass. Stop stripping Perlite Mountain and stop putting stuff into your mix. It's just going to float to the top of your mix and not be helpful in any way, shape, or form at the end. Grow Stones, of course, has all different sizes from the big chunky aeration stones for the bottom to the perlite replacements to the fine little sharp natinic stuff to go on top of your mix. Kind of works like diatomaceous earth and cuts up the buggies on the way out of the mix. You can find out more at growstones.com. They also have a video that plays a really cool little song. We've listened to it on the show before. I don't think we have to do it now, right?
No, it's not working right now.
And, of course, big shout out to our
no.
buddies at Hydroponic Research. That's hydroponic-research.com out there in Vegas with Adam for the big cannabis business show. The creators of Veg and Bloom, the all-phase powder-based plant nutrient. They've updated their site. If you've checked it out before, check it out now. They've got a lot of details. The nutrient calculator, the feeding chart. They've also added a tools and accessories section of the site, which I'm very curious about. There's nothing in there right now. Maybe they're having a cool sprayer put out or something like that. You can always get a hold of them at 800-975-6860. That's 1-800-975-6860. info@vegbloom.com, info@vegbloom.com. Ask them for a sample. Tell them Adam Dunn Show sent you. They'll probably send it to you realistically if you email them and say that. And then you'll know. I don't have to even keep talking about it because you'll just know. You realize that they'll even ask you, hey, what kind of water do you have? And that's when you'll know it's something different because you'll be getting the formula that's designed for your water that you've got in your garden. And you can find out more at hydroponic-research.com. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, no.
Don't do it.
I think I made it.
Tight.
Did I make it? I might not sneeze. Whew, that was a close one. Sneeze here now. Sneeze. Get it? Seeds here now. Seeds here now. Seeds here now. KTI, you getting in with me on the seeds here now one?
Seeds
Here.
here now.
Yeah,
Seeds
here.
here now. Seeds here now. Seeds
Here
here
now.
now. Seeds
Here now. Seeds here now. Seeds here now. Seeds here now. Sounds like a spaceship taking off. And, of course, the October specials are still kicking through November. Swamp Boy Seeds, $124.88 a pack. Exotic Genetics, Crockett Farms, Bog Seeds, Ethos Collective, all $98 a pack. La Plata Labs, Moscow Seeds, and Loud Seeds are buy one, get one free. That's a free pack for every pack you buy. All orders over $150 will get a free 3-pack gift from Adam, the TH Seeds Dark Star. And you can grab that latest archive drop as well. And don't forget the new news. I gotta scroll all the way down for this. And next week is the Thug Pug drop. And look for the Lost Packs auction to start up again in 2 weeks. Also on the exotic menu, you will now find the Cube drop, which is Starfighter Cubed, Intergalactic Bootylicious, Mr. Clean, Meltdown, Labyrinth, and Hazelnut Cream, or as I like to call it, Hazelnut Cream. And don't forget, Seeds Here Now will be bringing the No Clone Zone, the CD Guy, the gathering of CD Guys at this year's Emerald Cup at what we're deciding to call the ADS Pavilion, but they probably won't have a sign that says that, so you should keep an eye out for where it really is. SeedsHereNow.com, the gold standard of cannabis genetics, proudly presents the Seeds Here Now National Breeding Conference 2016, hosted by Adam Dunn and me, Mitch Shinasa, in the Emerald Cup No Clone Zone. The breeding for concentrate panel is Saturday, 3:45 to 5. Then the Landrace Genetics panel Saturday, 5 to 6:30. Then 6:45 to 8 on Saturdays, the Stabilizing Genetics panel. And then Sunday, 11:15 to 12:15, the Connoisseur Genetics panel. Also Sunday, following the awards show, all the winners will be live on the show, AdamDunnShow.com. And, of course, that Friday, we're not going to do our show live at the usual time because I will be on a flight out there, courtesy of Seeds Here Now. But when we get there, we'll do a show Friday night. That's what we got going for Emerald Cup. Are you guys going to Emerald Cup at least? No, that's the one thing that I still recommend going to.
Well, fair enough.
If you can.
You're not the only person that said that. I actually do have a prior engagement, or else I'd probably be there. I've got a customer day that I'm doing out in Portland at Bloom Garden Supply. If anybody wants to,
where is that?
That's in Portland, Oregon, down in the Milwaukee location. It'll be Friday the 9th. I'll be there all day. Talking New Millenium Nutrients, giving away some free stuff. Anybody wants to come down and see me. Also, newmillenniumnutrients.com. Check us out there, too. If you got any questions, there's a contact form page, so you can definitely, and then call Neil. Remember, back of the bottle. Flip that bottle over and give Neil a call.
That's awesome that he puts his number on the bottom. You got anything, Cole?
No, as far as the Emerald Cup, I'm definitely not going. Unfortunately, Jaron and I talked about it for several months, actually. We were really hoping to get out there. As you said, you're not the first person that has kind of told us that we're losers for not going last year.
I don't think losers is the word, but...
So I'm actually going to be in Phoenix on a work trip as well.
You guys distribute to Phoenix?
We do have a few retail partners out there currently, trying to acquire more. Part of the trip, of course. But,
right, part of the way's there.
Yeah. But no, he'll be over in Portland doing his thing, like I said, or like he said, and then I'll be over in Phoenix.
Yep.
Well, right on, boys. KTI, you got shout-outs? I'm thinking we'll wrap about 15 early this day.
Shout goes out to Adam for waking up before breakfast.
Yeah.
To call in. I'm saying that was an early,
thanks, Mr.
An early
Dunn.
rise, for Vegas time. I mean, I know they run in a different time zone. So.
They're like 12 hours off. It's just like you got to take the clock and click it over 12, and you're about there.
Yeah.
Shout-outs to everyone at the farm. All the usual people Adam would shout out. Cece, who's over there, slanging hoodlum. Ace down at the farm. Little Nick.
Sonny Jacob.
Yeah, there you go. Keep going. Who else does he shout out?
Oh, man.
We're a rudderless ship here.
Yeah,
Shout out to Adam, Mitch, Kyle, and Vince for having Jaron and I out here for sure. We definitely appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys.
Fun.
Shout out to my amazing wife, Reese, and little kiddo, Farron, who are out in New Jersey. I'm going to go have dinner, and then I'm going to Healing Waters Float Studio while I'll be doing overnight in a float tank, and maybe I'll do a live stream from in the tank.
In the tank.
No, not really. That's for me to not worry about you guys. We'll catch you guys next week, and have a good one. Till then.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Right on, dudes. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys. Sorry, I had to poop so bad. I pooped for like the last hour.